The South African Communist Party in Mpumalanga has elected its new leadership at their 11th elective conference in Mbombela this weekend. There is not much change to that leadership, but Bonakele Majuba is now the new chairperson and Lucky Mbuyane the new secretary. SABC News reporter Tumelo and video journalist Lucky Mbuyane are covering that story for us. Tumelo, not much change to that leadership as I indicated, but talk us through, with some of these changes that have taken place. What does the SACP say about its program of action going forward, in particular in that particular province?
Well, indeed, Griselda, about 393 delegates took part in this conference. It started on Friday afternoon and it's expected to end this afternoon today. Griselda, let me just give you the people that are also in the leadership position. Is Bonakele Majuba is a new provincial chairperson. The deputy chairperson is Andries Mnisi, and then the provincial secretary is Lucky Mbuyane. He is the former chairperson in the province, but now he is the provincial secretary. The first deputy secretary is Mandla Ntini, and then the second deputy secretary is Ntlanipo Zuma, and the treasurer is Lindiwe Ntwani. Not much has changed there, Griselda, with the leadership here in Mpumalanga, but the SACPs continue now with their commissions, and then they're expected to make also a closing statement by the Secretary General Lucky Mbuyane later this afternoon. But let's speak to the provincial secretary Lucky Mbuyane. Ndade, just talk to us about what happened here this throughout this weekend, and also talk to us about not much has changed, and also what is the action plan now for the SACP going forward.
Thank you very much, Tumelo. Greetings to the listeners of SABC at home. Like you have already indicated, we have been here since Friday, and I think I'll need to correct my name. It's Lucky Mbuyane, the Provincial Secretary of Mpumalanga Province. We started with messages of support from alliance partners. They gave very good messages of support to support our Congress, and the Young Communist League of South Africa was here raising very critical issues that are affecting young people in our province. The General Secretary of the SACP gave a keynote address yesterday raising all issues that are affecting the working class and poor people and the conditions that they find themselves in, which made this Congress to take a decision to say, if for the past 28 years of democracy, the people of this country, which are 90% in terms of numbers as the working class and poor, did not benefit anything in our democracy. Therefore, the South African Communist Party is having a responsibility to have a revolution in a revolution. It means that now we have to take serious the socialist revolution of changing the lives of our people. And we have committed ourselves that we are going to ensure that poverty, unemployment and inequality becomes an issue of the day. And by doing so, amongst other issues, we must consider contesting state and popular power, so as the government of the day can be the Communist Party, which understands deeply as to what affects our people on the ground and what best can we do so as we change their lives. But also we looked on the issue of corruption, which is engulfing our province, and we have took a stance that without fear, favor or prejudice, we shall be fighting corruption as the South African Communist Party. Doesn't matter whether municipality, whether provincial government, whether the state owned enterprises like ISCOM, which there is a lot of corruption, which results to the blackouts that are also affecting our people. The South African Communist Party is committed to deal with all those kind of issues moving forward. So as we change our lives, we are committed. We are going to not nest feelings of other people, but we represent the interest of our people without any doubt. And that's what exactly that we're going to do from this Congress.
Also, you are talking about corruption and talking about ESCOM and the continuous blackout. We as Mpumalanga, we are the province that actually has like a lot of coal mine, a lot of power stations, and a lot of power stations that produce electricity for the rest of the country. But still, a lot of people here are still unemployed. You guys talked about this. What is going to happen now? What are you guys to talk to government about, especially when it comes to the issue of ESCOM? We know there's also a talk of energy transition, where now some of these power stations are going to be closed down. We know that about 8 of them are going to be closed by the end of 2030, more by the end of 2050. Just talk to us about that, especially when it comes to unemployment in this province.
The Congress is quite clear to say neoliberalism and austerity measures are contributing towards the unemployment of our people. The policies that we are using, which forces us to always impose budget cuts at the expense of our people, not develop our areas, not have the clear infrastructure development, not industrialize our province so as people can get jobs, it's a problem. So as the party who are against neoliberalism, which we must fight and defeat, who are against the austerity measures that are finding expression in the country and in our province. But most importantly, Mpumalanga is having mining as the key driver of our economy. Majority of our people are employed in mines. So if you are saying we want to close the coal-fired power stations, you mean to say people of Mpumalanga must go home without jobs. As we're speaking now, the unemployment rate is at close 50% for people that are unemployed. So as a South African Communist Party, we're not going to accept that people must lose their jobs. Look, South Africa as a whole, Mpumalanga in the main, is having reserves that can last this country for the next 350 years. So where are we going to take our coals if we're going to close the mines? The countries like Germany, France, and China have begun to open their coal-fired power stations. And Mpumalanga and South Africa are saying they must close those power stations. What kind of a decision is that? Actually, it's not practical. Even this just transition that we're talking about, to us, it's an unjust transition because it's not appreciating the communities, it's not appreciating the labor organization, it's not appreciating the concrete conditions that we find ourselves in as people of Mpumalanga.
That quickly, we know we are heading towards 2024. Decisions have been made by the SACP. We know that you guys have been saying that you guys want to contest power. You just said you guys want to contest power. Have you guys engaged with the ANC to tell them that you guys are going to break away and contest power, or is this just like talks that you guys had? What's the decision have been made on this issue, especially when it comes to contesting power in the country?
The debate of contesting state and popular power has been within the South African Communist Party for the past 15 years. And in the last Congress, we were quite clear that the time has arrived now that to contest state and popular power. So we have begun consultations with all alliance partners. We're having a meeting with COSATU. We shall be having a meeting with the ANC. In actual fact, in public platforms, we have already begun to share our ideas about contesting state and popular power, but also the impact and the potential that the whole narrative is having about the contestation of state and popular power. So consultation is going to be done widely in the province, nationally. We shall be speaking to our alliance partners. We shall be forming a socialist movement with workers and poor people in this country. So it's not only alliance partners, but also the rudimentary organs of the people's power, those structures that are on the ground that are speaking to the people on day-to-day basis will be consulted, because they must be part and parcel of these changes that we are bringing as a South African Communist Party in the province and in the country.
Mr. Mbuyane, thank you so much for speaking to us. That was Lucky Mbuyane, the new secretary here in the province, the new provincial secretary here in the province. He was the former chairperson of the province. Now he's the new secretary. Criselda, the commissions are continuing inside the hall here at the University of Mpumalanga here in Mbombela, and also later on this afternoon, Mr. Mbuyane is expected to give the closing address.
Dumelo, thank you very much for that update this Sunday morning.